Hi everyone, and welcome to today's TV4Education training. My name is Abby and I'll be taking you through the system today. So today we'll be going through how to search through TV4Education and all of its different categories, how to add the items that you've searched for to your My Items and your school collection, how to share those items with your students, how to request with us, from both free-to-air and Foxtel, and also for specific topics and lessons, and how to register your interest areas with us to tailor the TV4Education content to you. If at any point you have any questions for me on any of those topics, pop them in the chat to my right and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. Feel free to ask any questions at any point, even if it's something we've already covered. If it's something that we've yet to cover, I'll get to it when we cover it, or if I have already covered it, I'll finish up what I'm talking about and I'll go back and refresh it for you. So with that, I'll take you to my screen and we start out on the TV4Education home screen. So you've got all these different scroller categories here and a lesson scroller at the end. So this top category here is recently added, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's all the content that's been most recently added to TV4Education. This is content that's both been requested by teachers from all different schools around the country, as well as content that has been added by our TV4Education research team based on the Australian curriculum. So if you want to see some more, you just click View All and you can scroll down as far as you want. If you want to go back to Home, you just click Home here. The next scroller category down is Learning Tube. Learning Tube is content that has been curated by our TV4Education research team. It's all educational and based on the curriculum, and it's content that's relatively short, so maybe 5 minutes to half an hour. You certainly wouldn't get, say, a 2-hour documentary in here. So if you're just looking for maybe short 20 minutes videos for your students to watch at home that are educational, you can have a look through here and see if there's anything relevant for you there. The next two categories down are documentaries and movies. So these categories are here because they're the most frequently requested kind of content on TV4Education. So over things like TV series or news series, etc., movies and documentaries are the most requested. So like before, you can scroll through them like this, or you can click View All and view some more than what is on the scroller page here. And once again, these are all the most recently added movies and documentaries by both teacher requests and then by our research team as well. The next two categories here are Curated YouTube and YouTube. So the difference between these two is that YouTube is just any content that is currently available on YouTube. You can search here through TV4Education, and Curated YouTube is all content that has been curated by our TV4Education research team that is educational based on the curriculum. So there won't be any inappropriate content here, or any inappropriate content, or any distracting content either. And then next down here we have Smart Lessons, which I'll go through with you in a minute. I'll show you a bit more how YouTube works through searching TV4Education. So you can also access these categories up here. So you can go to TV4Education, which is just recently added. You can go to Lessons, you can go to YouTube, etc. So let's say you see a YouTube video here that you think would be good. You see a video on 1984 by George Orwell, which your Year 10 students are currently studying. You can click on it, and just like TV4Education, the content immediately plays, some information comes up, and you can scroll through it just like you would if you were on YouTube. One thing to note about our YouTube player is that it plays from a blank screen, so you won't have any YouTube ads that pop up on the screen before and during the video, and you won't have your students won't be able to see any comments either if you're showing it to your class in the classroom, or if you're sharing it with them to watch over the weekend. They will just see the video, so there won't be any inappropriate comments or ads or anything distracting for your students. So you can toggle the captions on and off here if they are available on YouTube. You can go to the settings bar, you can change the playback speed, the annotations, and so on. You can go to info, and that will just show you sort of another video from the Crash Course Literature. You can go to info up here. If you click watch later, that will add it to your YouTube's watch later. And if you click share here, it will give you a list of options to share, just like it would if you clicked that on YouTube. So let's say you do like this video and you want to add it to your items because you want to show it to your students. You just go to the little star icon here. It'll do a little twirl and it'll come up to tell you that it has been added to your My Items, which I'll show you how to find in just a moment. And you can also make it full screen down here. So that works the same with any TV4Ed content. If you go home, if you see this documentary on the list of Tania, it will automatically play. You can make it full screen, etc., etc., and you add it to your My Items just like that. So the YouTube player and the TV4Ed player work just the same, just the YouTube player has some more options just based on the buttons that are already available on YouTube. So with TV4Education, if you want something with closed captions, you can look through, and anything that's marked CC, so like this program here, it's got a CC, which means that it has been recorded with closed captions. Anything without doesn't have closed captions with it. So if you do click on the videos, let's say Tate Britton's Great Art Walks, it also gives you what it has been tagged with. So the kind of content that the audience for it, so in this case higher education and secondary, as well as the kind of program it is. So in this case it's a documentary, and the subjects it's relevant to. So it says visual arts here. So if you search for visual arts in TV4Ed, this would come up even though it's not in the title if you just went with smart search. So if you click visual arts, there it'll come up with a search of all of the visual arts content that is currently available on YouTube. And you can also do this kind of a search if you go to subjects up here, and you can find the arts. You can find the arts, and then you can click on visual art down here, and it will do the search the same. So you can either do a subject search from up here, or you can do it from a video if you've happened to find a video that is tagged with the subject that you want. This also has different genres, so if you click on, if you click on genres, it'll come up with documentaries, movies, comedy, drama shows, TV series, etc. So it will come up with the genre of the content and the type of program that it is as well. So we've gone through all of those scroller bars so far, as well as how to search through subjects. As I said before, you can access them all up here as well. You add everything to your My Items the same in every single category. You just press the little star button and it will automatically add it to your My Items, which I'll show you in a moment. So the last heading up here is the lessons. So these are lessons that have been created by our TV4Education research team based on the curriculum, if they're extra ones that we've created, or they have been created because teachers have requested this content with us and we've created this for them. So all the ones with the blue covers here are resource lists. So these are just comprised of resources. So TV4Ed videos, YouTube videos, links to articles, PDF files, etc., etc. So if you go to the Great Depression in Australia, all of the content in this lesson will be videos and written content as well, all based on the Great Depression. So if you're teaching that to your students currently, you can click Add to My Library. It will add it to your library just as it did with the videos before, and then I'll show you how to get into that when I show you the My Items. So you'll go to My Items and you'll be able to see all the content in there and see if it's anything that you would like to show your students. So there is also two other kinds of smart lessons. So the ones with the purple covers, like this one here, are study guides. So these comprise of whatever content that the study guide is based on. In this case, it's a documentary, so it will have the documentary in here, and it will also have the Atom study guide as well to go along with that documentary. So if you're a teacher that likes to teach with study guides, you can add this to your My Items, and then you can access the documentary and the study guide from there, and you can download it or print it however you would like. The third kind of smart lesson that we have are the ones with the green covers here, and these are video lessons. So once again, these have been created by our TV4Education research team based on the curriculum or based on a specific request that a teacher has given us. So these comprise of usually about 5 TV4Education videos, maybe some YouTube videos as well as say 5 to 10 questions. These are multiple choice questions. They are yes and no questions, as well as missing word questions, and they're all based on the video in the video lesson. So if there's a documentary in there on ancient Egypt, on let's say Khufu, who built the first Great Pyramid of Giza, let's say you're in that smart lesson, and in the documentary it states the year that the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza started. If your students are paying attention in class, or if it's a homework assignment at home, in watching that documentary, when that fact comes up, they'll see that there's a question that aligns with that fact, and they'll be able to select the correct multiple choice answer or write in the correct year if it's a missing word question. So those are all of the smart lessons, the video lessons, study guide lessons, as well as the resource lists. You add them all the same, and then you go to My Items up here to access them later, which I'll go to in a minute, just after I show you how to register your interest areas. So if you're a new user, as soon as you log into TV4Education, this pop-up will come up on your screen, and it's asking you to register your interest areas so that when you search through TV4Education, it can tailor the content to you, so you can find content that's relevant to you easier, and you won't see anything that's not relevant to you that you don't need to look at. So if you're a secondary teacher, for your audience, you would click secondary up here. You can just click them on and off as you please. You don't need to save anything. It will automatically save for you as you click on and off. And then in the subjects down here, let's say you're an Italian teacher, you would click languages here. Maybe you would click humanities and social sciences as well if you think that would be relevant. Or if you're a teacher that teaches multiple subjects, let's say you're an Italian teacher that also teaches science, you would click languages and science. So you can just get out of this right now. It automatically saves for you. And then when you search through TV4Education, all of the content will be tailored to be languages content and science content that is for secondary school students. After you've selected your interest areas, that pop-up that I showed you before won't automatically pop up on your screen anymore. But if you ever want to change your interest areas, you just go to the interests button here, and it will come up for you, and you can click on and off as you like, and it will automatically save. And you can do that as often as you want and as frequently as you want. There's no limits on it. You can change it whenever and however you'd like. So we've gone through all these tabs up here and all of the different scroller categories in TV4Ed. So next I'll show you how to find all that content that we saved from before. So you go up to My Items here where my mouse is, and it will show you all of the things that you've added to your My Items. So you can scroll through and see all of the content that you've added. If you want to double check that you've added the right program, you can click on it like this. Just like searching it in TV4Ed, it will automatically play. It will come up with all the information, all the categories, have all the same buttons as well. You can make it full screen, and you can mute it and scroll through exactly the same. And then to get into the content, the smart lessons I was showing you before, you just click on them. It will open up in a new tab, and you'll be able to see the lesson here. So in this case, it's a resource list. So it's all the different resources that have been compiled for this smart lesson, which is the Great Depression in Australia. And if you clicked on a smart lesson that had questions with it, the questions would also pop up here under the videos that they are relevant to. So if you've added anything that you don't think is relevant to you anymore, you can just click the little bin icon up here and it will get rid of it for you, and there's no issues. So you've added this content to your My Items. You can also view it through your school collection. The difference between the school collection and the My Items is that the My Items is all of the content that you have personally saved, whereas the school's collection is all of the content that all of the teachers and staff at the school have saved. So if you want to see anything that your fellow teachers at your school are teaching, you can scroll through here and you can also search through it as well. Now, if you found the content that you're after and you want to share it with your students, you just click on the video or the smart lesson that it is. It will pop up like this. And you go to this button here, just under the star button I showed you before that saves it to your My Items. You go to the button underneath that, and it will come up with how to share it with your students. So these two categories here, this here is a link expiry. So you can set this for however long you want your students to see the content for. So let's say they're studying George Orwell's 1984 to the very end of the year when they'll have their exam. You can set the link for the very end of the year if you'd like. You can set it all the way in November 10th, let's say, and their exam is on November the 11th. You can set it for them so they can access this resource right up until their exam, let's say. Or if it's just something that's relevant to an outcome or a SAC that they're doing, you can set it for the day before the SAC or the day of the SAC if that's what you want to do, or if it's something that you want them to watch over the weekend to be prepared for class, you can set it for the Sunday night. So it's currently the 1st of June. Let's say you want them to watch it by Monday, and then you're going to quiz them on it on Monday. You can click Monday the 7th and they won't be able to access the program after that. So if you only want them to have it for a specific period of time, you just pop that in there. And then the class grade, so let's say you're teaching this to Year 10 students, you would select Year 10 to share this with. Make sure you select the lowest possible class grade that you want to share it with. If, let's say, you're teaching this to your VCE students as well, and you just click Year 12, the Year 10s and the Year 11s that you also want to show it to won't see it. Whereas if you click Year 10, which is the lowest class grade that you're teaching this to, Year 11s and 12s will be able to see it because it will show it to Year 10s and above. So once you've put the correct information in those two categories, it will automatically come up with the share link to give to your students. It will also give you an embed code if you want to embed it into your school's learning management system. There's also a QR code as well if you would like to share it with your students that way. So we've gone through your My Items, how to play things from your My Items, how to delete things, and how to share that content with your students. You also have these tabs here. Now all of these tabs are popped up right now, which means it's showing me all of the content in those categories. So I've got 54 items relevant to TV4Education, 14 from YouTube, and I have 21 lessons. So if I clicked this, it would get rid of the lessons. And if I clicked these two away, now it is only showing me the TV4Education videos. Whereas if I click these back and just click lessons, now it just shows me all of the lessons that I've saved and none of the videos, either TV4Education or YouTube. So I've gone through so far all the categories in the TV4Education homepage, how to search through subjects, how to add your interest areas, how to save all this content to your My Items and your school collection, and then how to share that content with your students. So I'll now go through how to search through TV4Education. So if you're looking for something specific and you're not just looking for recently added content, you can go to the smart search bar up here and have a look through that way. So if you're an English teacher and you just want to search that way, you can type English. If there's a series, let's say you want a series by Stephen Fry, you can type Stephen Fry in and it will give you all of the programs hosted by Stephen Fry. And because this is smart search, it will come up with all the tagged, all the content that's been tagged with Stephen Fry's name, or if his name is in the description, it will all come up. So any documentaries that he's been in will come up for you. So as you can see, his series on Central America comes up here, as well as the Rocky Horror Show that he was in. If you're wanting to search for a specific title, so if you type, let's say you're just looking for things not specifically with Stephen Fry in it, but you know there's a documentary that has his name in it, you can click title here and search by title. So now you can see all those QI episodes from before don't come up because they don't have his name in the title. So now this will only show you what you've searched in the title. So it will come up with all the documentaries he's made with his name in the title. So that's a bit of an easier way to search. Let's say you're searching for a film. You can search and you type in, let's say you're looking for the film Aliens. If you type that into Smart Search, that will give you all the content relevant to Aliens. If you go to title and you just type in Aliens, it'll just give you everything with aliens in the title. So you'll be able to find that film easier. Again, there's a subject search as well. And if you click advanced search, you can also enter the keywords in here, the titles in here, sort it by media type, classification, and so on, and search it that way. That's if you're wanting to be very specific about what you're searching for. So before I get on to how to request with us, I will make the point that before you request with us, please search through TV4Education first, because there's all likelihood that we will already have the content that you're after. So if you search for a specific program that you want to show to your students and you want to show it, let's say tomorrow, if you request it with us, you'll have to wait for us to receive the request and then respond to you. And that usually takes within 48 hours. So you won't get that content when you need it, because obviously it takes time for us to get the request and then get back to you. And if we already have the program, you can actually get it for yourself immediately and then show it to your students as soon as you have it. So let's say you're looking for the documentary Baby God. You type Baby God in here and you can see that yes, we do have that documentary. You can add it to your My Items and then either show it in the classroom or share it to your students with this button here, as I showed you before. So make sure you always do that before you request with us. If you've had a search through TV4Education and you can't find what you're after, then go to, or by all means, pop in a request with us and we'll get that program to you. So if there's any questions about any of the content I've just covered, searching, the different categories, lessons, how to register your interest areas, how to add to my items, on how to share, just pop them in to my right and I'll get to them before the end of the session. But if no one has any questions for me right now, I'll go to how to make a request with us. So you go up to this little button up here and then you go to Mailbox. So as you can see, it's automatically taken me to support tickets here. Make sure you don't click create a ticket because that will create a support ticket and not a TV4Education request. Make sure you go to TV4Ed requests here and it will come up with all of the requests you've made previously. So as you can see all the statuses of all the requests that you've made. So this one is scheduled, which means that we've scheduled the program and it's ready for recording. This one means new, which means you've just submitted it and we haven't got to it yet. If it says assigned, it means it's been assigned to one of our team and we'll get it to you within 48 hours. If it says completed, that means we've got the program to you and you'll be able to play it from this chat window or add it to your items from this chat window. You've also got a little chat box down here if you want to type anything to us, if you're just inquiring about your request, or let's say when you've made your request, you've made a mistake and you want to let us know, you can just let us know down here, press the little paper plane, and then that will send us a message and we'll be able to reply to you in this little chat window as well. So when your content has been assigned, scheduled, so on and so on, you'll get messages letting you know your program has been scheduled, your program has been assigned to our team, your program has been edited, it's currently uploading, and then right at the end you'll get this little message here letting you know your program is available. So that's how viewing all of your previous TV4Ed requests works. Now I'll get on to how to make a request. So you just click on the make a request button here and it gives you three options. So free to air requests are for any channel, any program that's airing on free to air. You click here. if you're making a free-to-air request, make sure you do it within 90 days of the program airing. We keep all of our free-to-air files from the last 3 months, so if you request within that 90 days, we'll be guaranteed to get the program to you. And then obviously you can request for content that's airing in the future as well. If the program is before the 90 days, if it's aired, let's say 4 months prior, still request it with us. We'll still do our best to get it to you. Just know that to be guaranteed the program within the last 90 days. With the premium channels, we have a time limit as well, in that they have to be requested 48 hours in advance. If you're not within this time frame, don't stress, still submit it with us and we'll do our best to get it to you. Just again, to be guaranteed the program, we need 48 hours in advance for premium channel requests. And the premium channel requests are for any of the channels or content airing on Foxtel. And then we have the topic requests here, which I'll get to in a moment. These aren't for specific videos. These are if you want lessons made or if you just want videos based around a specific topic that you're currently teaching your students. So if you go to free to air request, it comes up with a pop-up of all of the different channels that you can request from. If you don't see the channel you want here, don't stress. Choose another channel. We always check which channels the program's are airing on, what times, etc., etc. So if you can't see it here, or if you just make a mistake, don't stress. We will get the correct program to you. If you do make a mistake and you want to let us know, you can always let us know with that little chat box I was showing you before, after you've submitted your request. So let's say you want a program airing on ABC, you'd click the ABC logo and it would come up with all the boxes you need to fill out. Everything with the little red star is all things that are mandatory when you submit your request. So obviously season and episode number aren't starred, because if you're requesting a film or a one-off documentary, obviously they won't have season and episode numbers. So for the program title, if you want to request 4 corners, you would type in 4 corners. If you know the season and episode numbers, you would type them in here. The start date, 4 corners airs on Mondays, so you would click number 7 here, or if it was yesterday's 4 corners that you were requesting, you'd click 31, because as I said, we keep all of the previous free-to-air files for the last 90 days. You put the time in here. This is in 24-hour time, so make sure if you're requesting something from 8 p.m, you click 20 as opposed to 8. That will set it for 8 a.m. in our system. If you do accidentally do that, there's no stress. As I said, we always check, and if we see that it's incorrect, we'll change it for you. And if you want to let us know, you can do that as well in the chat box. So you can go, let's say 8:30. Let's say 8:28 it's airing. It goes for 60 minutes. You would just type that in there. And then the last thing you would have to do before you submit the request is to let us know if you want it recorded with captions or not. If you do, just tick the little box here and we'll get it to you with captions. Most of the things on Free2Air and Foxtel currently are available with captions, so if they are, we'll record it with captions and get it to you with captions. If it isn't, we'll let you know that. We'll give you the program without the captions, and we'll add the program to our recording list, which is a list that we check daily of programs that we aren't available to get, that we aren't able to get currently. And then once it is available in the future, let's say a couple of months down the line, we can get it to you. But with the closed captions, don't stress too much about it. As I said, the vast majority of the things on Free2Air and Foxtel are available with closed captions. Just in some very rare instances, they're not. So just know that when you submit a request with us. So after you've all done that, you can click submit, and it will automatically create the request for you and send the request to us. So you can see all of the details here that you've submitted. If you go through this, see that it's wrong, let's say it's airing actually at 9 p.m, you can just type down here and say 9 p.m. airing if you want to, and just let us know, and that will send a message to us. If you submit a request that is before the 90-day cutoff, as I was telling you before, you'll get a message just letting you know that. As I said, don't stress if you get that message. It's just letting you know that it's not guaranteed to get you the program, but we'll still do our very best to get it to you. Foxtel requests work very much the same way. You just need to click the premium channels request here. Make sure you do this correctly. It makes it a lot easier on our end. It's a lot easier on our system. And if you submit them correctly, you're guaranteed that you're going to get the correct program. If you submit them incorrectly, it might mess something up on our system and there could be a mistake. As I said, don't stress too much. We always double check everything, but just to make it easier on our end and to make sure that you get the content quicker, make sure you submit them in the correct categories. So you click premium channel requests, and just like a free to air, it gives you a list of all the channels that you can request from. As I said, if you find something that a channel that isn't on here, just request it with another channel, let us know. There's no issues at all. So let's say you're a Japanese teacher and you want to request something from NHK World Japan. You would click that, and then you would just fill in all these details the same as you would with the free to air request. So let's say you want Cool Japan, let's say they're up to episode 13 for this year. If you have the TV guide in front of you, please submit all the information correctly. It makes it much easier on our end. We can get the content to you quicker. If you don't, just do the best that you can. We'll fill in all of that to you, for you. But if you have all the details, please put them in. Makes it much easier on us in our system. Now let's say it's airing tomorrow. You would put tomorrow's date in, and it's airing at 10:15 in the morning. So you would pop that in to the time, and it goes for half an hour. So you can submit that. You can click it with captions if you want. Usually the stuff that airs on World Japan already has captions because it's in Japanese, so there's automatically English captions. So let's say we don't need captions for this program. You click submit. Now, something to note, I haven't done it within the 48-hour time frame, so it just pops up with a message letting me know that. As I said, don't stress out if you get this message. Just know that within the 48 hours notice, it's guaranteed. If you're out of that notice, we'll still do our very best to get the content to you, so don't stress too much. And if you see that there's another airing later in the week, you don't have to pop in another request for that later airing. We will just automatically change it to that later airing. And if you want to let us know, you can always let us know, oh, it's also airing on Saturday. So that's how to do the free to air and Foxtel requests. If you have any questions about that, pop them in the chat and I'll get to them as I'm talking to you about topic requests. So topic requests are different from the first two because the first two is when you see something on the TV guides that you want us to record and get to you, whereas a topic request is maybe if you want a smart lesson based around, let's say we were talking about Khufu earlier before from ancient Egypt. Your Year 12 ancient history students are currently studying him. And you want a smart lesson on that for them to just do over the weekend as a refresher. Let's say if they've just come back from the school holidays. You would click topic request and you could pop that in target age group. You can either put Year 12 or you can put the current age that they actually are. So for Year 12s it would be 17 to 18. For the purposes of this, I'll just pop Year 12 in. If you have the Australian curriculum open in front of you and you have the actual curriculum code that you're teaching, you can copy and paste that in here. If you don't have that, there's no issues. That's just some extra information for us so that we can go to the Australian curriculum and see specifically what you're looking for. If you don't have that, or if you're not teaching directly from the curriculum, there's no issues. The subject has a little red star, so you will have to pop this in for us. So the subject here would obviously be, say, Year 12, ancient history, and then in brackets, Egypt. In the lesson aims, you can give us a bit more detail. So as I said, this lesson was going to be about the pharaoh Khufu, and then you can just put pharaoh and then pyramid of Giza if you want. And then in the additional information, you can be as detailed as you want. The more detailed you are, the better we can get the content that is most relevant to you. If you aren't that fussed, you don't even need to fill this out. You can just put all of that in and then we can pop that in for you. But let's say that you're not just looking for videos on Khufu and his pyramid, you're specifically looking for a video lesson. So you can say video lesson please, and you can say 3 documentary videos with 10 multiple choice questions. So That's just to specify the kind of smart lesson you want, or you can specify the kind of content you want. Let's say you don't want a smart lesson, you can just say you want some YouTube content, or you want some short documentaries, or however it is that you want to submit your topic request. So you would just click submit, and that would submit it automatically for you. The only other way to use topic requests is for content that you can't request anywhere else. So let's say it is a specific program that you're after, but it's something that hasn't aired on free-to-air recently. It's not airing on either free-to-air or Foxtel in the future. We don't currently already have it, but you still want to see if we can possibly get it for you. You can submit that as a topic request. Only do this for specific content like that in that case. If it's something that is currently airing on free-to-air or Foxtel or has just recently aired, please submit it in the correct categories. That means we can get it to you as quickly as possible, and it makes it much easier for us in our system. So only request specific content, so a specific documentary or film, as a topic request if it's something that you can't request in either the free-to-air or the Foxtel request tabs. So you can use the topic request like that, but only use it in that way. So once you've done your topic request, you click submit, and just like all the others, it will give you all of the content that you've placed in your request, and you can let us know some extra information. Let's say you do want some missing word answers. You can just let us know that, and there's no issues. And then it will tell you when it's been assigned, and then once your lesson has been made, it'll come up in the chat box here, and you'll be able to add it to your items and share it with your students, as I was showing you before. So that's the 3 different types of requests we have. If you have any questions about any of that, pop them in, and I'll answer them before I head off. So that is how to make free-to-air, Foxtel, and topic requests. And that is the last thing I have to show you on TV4Education today. So I'll just wrap up, and if you have any questions, pop them in and I'll answer them before I go. So today we've gone through how to search through TV4Education, how to search through all its different categories, how to register your interest areas, how to search through our lessons, how to add all of that content to your My Items and school collection, and how to share all of that saved content with your students, as well as how to request with us both free-to-air and Foxtel content, as well as how to do topic requests. That's all I have for you today. It doesn't look like anyone has any questions for me, so I'll be able to head off now. I'll see you for the next TV4Education training later on in the week. Until then, head over to our YouTube channel. You can see all of our previous training sessions uploaded on there, and as well as some other content as well. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to see what we're up to, and see any new content that we've been uploading, or we will advertise our YouTube lives there as well, so that you can pop in when they start as opposed to halfway through and maybe miss the first half of the session. And as well with our YouTube channel, if you subscribe and hit the bell notification, that will notify you whenever we go live, so you can come in to the live as soon as it starts and not miss anything. So until later in the week, I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope you all teach your students how to lots of things with the resources available on TV4Education. Bye everyone.